right, it's 6:30. We'll start the meeting. We have 2 executives already on the agenda. Do we have a need to
We need one more personnel.
personnel? Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
Any other need to amend the agenda?
Nope.
One other thing for executive.
Another executive?
Okay, does it fall under legal, personnel, or contracts?
Personnel.
Okay.
So far.
All right.
Make a motion, we approve that as read.
Okay. You have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
He's not used to it.
You know, I know it.
I know, it's only with 3 of us. We're gonna just give you a lot more
Yeah.
getting involved here. Okay, anything of the meeting minutes of, so we have the town meeting minutes of March 3rd, and then select board minutes of March 19th.
They were all good.
Any
I have a
corrections?
question on town meeting.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the whoever was submitting it sign
They
those?
should, yes.
Yeah.
Last year.
Huh?
Oh, you're lucky the
that
auditors
you?
didn't pick up
Yeah.
on that. Was me.
Was it you? Yeah, you're supposed to sign it.
I can fix it so I sign it too.
Okay.
I only say that because I got called out by
Yeah,
Sullivan
that-
and Powers.
Yeah, they'll call you out.
No, that's good. I didn't even catch that, so that's okay. Anybody have anything else that they noticed needed to be changed? Okay. All right, town manager's report.
Before I start the town manager's report, I got a thing in the mail today about open meeting law for boards and committees, if anybody's interested in signing up. It's Wednesday, April 16th from 10 to 11:30 a.m.
Is it
So,
Zoom? If it's only an hour and a half, it must be.
I believe it is.
Okay, yeah.
I think I signed myself up for it
All right.
when I saw it earlier. And it will be, it says if you can't make it, no problem, this will be recorded and available free and on demand on their website
Oh, okay, cool.
too. So if for some reason,
Yeah, we should all really check it out. It's important to.
and then I met with the fire department during their training session last Tuesday to go over the employee assistance program that's available to all town employees. Chief Hempel was afraid some of them weren't aware of their resources available to them.
Oh,
so
okay.
I let them know. Chad and I met with Ethan from Rutland Regional Planning Commission about transportation-related projects, and he's going to assist us with the plan we need in order to get the final permit for the rapid blinking lights for the crosswalk at Kamuta's.
Thank goodness.
So, we actually had a very productive conversation with him, talked about a variety of things.
Sorry to interrupt you, but did he make mention that he thought there'd be any difficulty with that permit?
So Teresa from the state had emailed me her entire conversations with Dave.
Okay.
And she's waiting for like a graphic approval, like we have to change a couple of things, like where some signposts are, because if somebody's in a wheelchair, you can't have the signpost more than 11 inches away from the sidewalk.
Okay.
So it's kind of that logistics thing. And I'm not very good at like scratch art and trying to
Yeah.
manipulate a photo, so Ethan's gonna help us with that kind of thing so that
Okay.
we can get it submitted. I attended the regional TAC meeting, and the big thing they discussed about was Marble Valley Regional Transportation, or the bus, and how some people were confused that there's
Where they
the Vermont
stop.
Transporter too,
Right,
and where
yeah.
they
Where
stop.
yeah.
They are going to be redoing all of the signs for all of the bus stops so that people are aware of where they are. They also have reconfigured their city routes from 5 down to 4, and it had a less than 2.5% impact on their ridership by changing
okay.
them the way they did. But it stopped some redundancy, so it wasn't like red line and blue line weren't crossing anymore
Because
kind
I
of
think
thing.
at town meeting, we had some people weren't aware that the bus even stopped. in
Yeah,
Pittsford.
Right,
Yeah.
so they are gonna be working on that, and they said they're also going to be working on, like having the bus stops, some of them actually have a bench for people to sit on, or a tree to be able to stand under for
We should have one
shade,
here in town, because where they do stop, there's no place, they have to stand the whole time.
so,
That's not a bad idea.
So
A
they're-
bench doesn't cost a lot.
Especially since people from Maple Manor.
Yeah, and they do walk
Take
up and
the
use it. I've
Sure.
seen some of
So-
the older folks standing there.
so they're working on it as part of their plan, and then they're gonna start in the city and then build out from the towns. It's gonna be over 5 years, but I'm sure if towns wanna jump in and do something, they'd be more than willing to have them.
There's probably grants too.
There may be.
There is.
Well, I'm sure there is,
Um,
yeah.
There's been a sewer line break found on Route 7. After a resident came in, they had snaked their personal line and got it all the way to the main line. We are going to have Markowski's assist with the repair because that sewer line's down approximately 9 feet, and we're waiting for when Green Mountain Power is available because they have to hold the telephone poles in place where we have to dig.
Oh,
So, in the next week or two, you may be seeing digging along Route 7 for the sewer line, just to forewarn people.
okay.
I attended the Planning Commission meeting on March 27th. Their next meeting will be April 24th. They're gonna start at 6:30 instead of 7. And they would like to make sure the public is aware that these meetings are open to the public and public input and comment is welcome. I did put the enhanced energy plan up on the town's website. It's under the featured section and in, I think, planning commissioner zoning. So that people can take a look at it, provide feedback if they would like.
Mm-hmm.
We had the bid opening for the paving for fiscal year 2026. Details are going to be discussed further in the agenda. Delinquent billing has gone out. I highly encourage people to do repayment agreements. It saves me writing on a lot of statements.
Yep.
Consumer confidence reports for water customers are in the process of being mailed out. I have about half of them done so far. The other half will be going out tomorrow, and it's just to notify customers of the quality of Pittsford water, which we have actually really good quality water according to the reports.
Yeah.
And we are working on interim water meters. I met with Silhouette to go over our server issues, both police department and town office related today. We are going to hold off for about a year on any more major changes in the technology in the building due to personnel shifting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be replacing 5 computers that are no longer upgradable, that need to be upgraded. But other than that, this side of the building is going to be good. This side of the building needs some work, and it'll be talked about further in the agenda.
Okay.
When are they replacing the 5? Sooner than the year, or?
So, yep, the 5 will be replaced probably between now and October. But a lot of them are going to be simple swap outs. One of them they're going to try to roll and use for the public access computer in the town clerk's office. That one needs to be replaced. It can't be updated anymore, and it's really slow. So we're going to probably take and refurb one of the other ones that's being removed, and then put that one in that one's place. RHR has come up with next year's contract. I gave it to you all. RHR is our auditing firm. We're gonna have to make a decision within a month what we wanna do there. I did reach out to our previous auditors without a response. And I know that the town clerks around have been talking about how hard it is to get an auditor, keep an auditor, and get your reports in a timely manner. I did provide to all of you the letters from RHR explaining some of their issues that they'd had in the last year, and then what the contract looks like for this year. And Regional Planning Commission sent out the contract for the road erosion inventory. We actually have a Better Roads grant for that. It's something that we have to do periodically to satisfy requirements for Better Roads grants in the future. We have to have the road inventory up to date. So Regional Planning Commission, along with our highway crew, will be working on that. And Chad has approached me about possibly selling the F-550 pickup truck now that we have one that will be coming on in the fall. He doesn't need it as a spare anymore. So, we'd kind of like to put an a request for bids to get rid of it. But I just wanted to check with you guys before I just
Yeah.
put it out there to be sold.
John had good luck with that website too.
The gov
state one?
bids,
Yeah,
Gov
Yep.
bids or.
Yeah.
yeah.
bid.gov or whatever it is.
Mhm.
All right, anybody have any questions for Ann on any of that?
Let's see. There was some talk about the speed limit on Elm.
That's a project that we're gonna be working with TAC, or with the Regional Planning Commission. Ethan from Regional, he's got some ideas on Elm. He's gonna see if he can get grants so that I can bring the proposals to you.
Alright. Any, select board member remarks?
I spoke to Ann this past week about parking along Route 7 in the village.
Oh, boy.
And, well, I think there's a remedy to that.
Okay.
Years back, that used to be posted, no parking this side of the street, and for some reason, the state took them down.
Huh.
And she's gonna see about getting those signs put back up, because they're still parking on the
No,
sidewalk.
I know, I walk a lot and I
And
notice,
it's, you know, they'll ruin that sidewalk, that's what's gonna happen,
yeah.
when that summer heat gets there and they, you know,
Well, I've noticed that I know one house in particular where I know they've had it been talked to a few times.
Yep, they've
They
even
are
got a
now,
car towed
they've
away.
kind of like moved from the sidewalk to now the edge of it, which is almost worse, cause it's just gonna
plus,
bring
then
all
they
that.
do park so close to Route 7 that they're a foot away from the travel
Yeah.
portion of the highway. They're
Yeah.
right on top of it, so it's a
And
bad
everyone has
situation.
driveways there, so I'm not sure what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
deal
there's
is.
driveways there, park in your own driveway or across the street.
Right, but yeah, no, that is an issue that we should address.
That's all I got.
All right, thanks.
I'm good.
Okay, any public comment? Okay, old business, police cruiser and body cameras.
So in front of you is a very thick packet from Motorola. We have not received the new pricing yet. This will be a starting point. We believe this will be the high cost that is in front of you. And
It is a very high cost.
it is a
Oh.
very, very high cost.
Oh, yeah. Nothing cheap about them.
I had an in-depth conversation with Silhouette today. We're having problems because the drives that hold all of our camera data are completely full. So we're going to have to buy a NAS, which is basically a box that holds data.
Okay,
That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what that is.
right,
And we're going to have to shift all of the camera stuff to that. That'll buy us a little bit of time, but we also have cameras that are failing rapidly. One of our cruiser cameras is no longer downloadable, and we have two body cameras that we're starting to struggle with. And I know the price tag is great, and I know it will be spread out over 5 years. We're trying to find out if our cheaper option is for Motorola to upload all of the images that we have, all the videos we have to the cloud, or long-term keep them on the NAS so that we have them in-house in hand. The problem is the software is no longer,
Because they can become
Managed.
public records, correct?
what?
So those can be public records, so we have to have access to them.
So we have to have access to them, and whether they're in the cloud or in our hand.
Yeah.
For now, we're thinking it's gonna be cheaper for us for the short-term solution because not everything can be uploaded to the cloud right away. And Motorola's last quote to upload everything to the cloud was gonna be $4,800 minimum. I can buy a NAS system for under $2,000. And then, once we figure out the camera issue and what we wanna do with that, that can always be used as a backup to the server, so we have it could be a dual
Either
use
way.
kind of thing. For now, it's gonna need to be camera support,
right.
but sooner rather than later, I was hoping we could wait until grants come out for body cameras, but we don't
Yeah.
know when and if they are gonna be coming out this fall. And then once you have the cycle of waiting to see, so we need to start having the conversation at
Yep.
least that this is a high ticket item. The only good thing
Important
is,
issue, too.
it's an important issue, and
It is.
this year we have, Belden income that's not necessarily tagged for anything. So the revenues from the Belden contract could help pay for that first year, which would be, our fiscal year 26. And then we're gonna have to budget for it going forward.
Right.
And the first year is the biggest expense year.
Is there any warranty information in here?
So they are good, yes. So the cameras are warranted.
Yeah.
And if anything's to happen to them within the 5 years, depending on the age of them, they're either gonna get a brand new one or a refurb kind of thing. And I believe after 3 years, they may get new cameras. Like, it's on a cycle
Oh,
kind of thing. We did try, going with a different company. Unfortunately, it's very, very hard to go to a different company. And the one company we had lengthy discussions with, we would pretty much be their guinea pigs in Vermont.
oh,
They don't have body cameras and cruiser cameras in Vermont. They have them in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and New York, but not in Vermont yet. And it sometimes I don't mind being the person that tries new things with this and with safety at hand.
Yeah.
Bill and I both.
Does the state have contracts with these people on something like
I was
that?
gonna ask if the,
You know,
the state or the state
cruises, you buy
police.
cruises for the state bids. I wonder if
They don't.
they don't.
And Motorola is pretty much what everybody in the state apparently
Right.
is using,
Oh, I think
according
they
to
do.
Bill.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's a monopoly. There are some telecommunications companies that are trying to get into it, but again, with some of that stuff, if you're relying on Wi-Fi and internet connections, you get on the back roads and you're not gonna have the signal
Right.
that you need. And that's part of our concern with going with the other bid we had.
Getting back to the access to those films, doesn't that require a subpoena? There's privacy
No, there's-
concerns there, isn't there?
No, that's a right to know type thing. They come in and do a FOIA.
State's attorneys request them all the time.
Yep,
State's attorneys, but general public?
even up.
To a certain
Like committed
extent,
to Freedom of
Yeah,
Information
Freedom of
Act.
Freedom
Information Act,
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're involved in a situation, they can come in and pull those records.
On the other end though, does that box thing, does it satisfy legal requirements for privacy of any, or?
it's basically just like another server. It's just a
Okay.
smaller version of a server.
Okay,
This one, once it's filled, we'd like to either put it in like the basement vault here or lock it up in a secure area so that if, God forbid, this place went up in smoke, it would be protected. Because
Yep,
the server
okay.
right now is just in the closet. It's in the closet in the closet.
yeah, yeah,
So-
The
okay.
closet.
Alright.
You build that closet?
You told me to build it.
I got a long memory.
Well, maybe should we put this on the agenda for next meeting when we have
Have a
hopefully
full-
a full
full-
board? Because
Yeah.
it's something we have to go forward with, so really
Yep.
the only discussion to have is where we're gonna, how
we're
and where
gonna
we're
do
gonna,
it.
the money piece
Yeah,
is
exactly.
gonna.
Right,
Yeah.
and
Table it till
we
next
can,
meeting.
Yeah.
we can hold off a little bit, but I wanted to start giving you guys
Yep.
numbers and make it's gonna start becoming a priority.
Yeah, no, absolutely, that's important. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and continued conversation on public nudity ordinance. So this was, Ann updated the language to, be more Pittsford specific. I don't know if everyone had a chance to look it over.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. So again, this is, language that's already in other ordinances,
Oh, yeah.
or at least one other. Do we know, did we look to see how many in Vermont exist?
It's pretty much Brattleboro.
Oh, really?
Is it?
According to WCAX.
It's been all over the news.
About Pittsford?
No.
Oh,
No.
because they did come here, and so I looked, anyways, yeah. Yeah, no, I know Brattleboro had been in the news off and on over the years around this,
Yeah.
but,
They were the only ones that I found with anything
Yep.
related to a public nudity.
Yep.
Could somebody back me up on what the impetus behind this was?
yeah, there's been a long, so there's been, well, at least two neighbors of a person on Furnace Road that have been complaining about this
For a
for
long
years.
time.
And
That's basically it.
And if you go to other parts of town, I've heard of 3 different individuals that have been nude or nearly nude in town.
So this isn't because of complaints about breastfeeding?
Oh, God, no, that's why
No.
that's
Okay.
specifically
No,
in there, so
that's in the
people
sort of-
cannot use
That, yeah.
nudity
I
for
think
that,
that's-
because that would be
I think
ridiculous.
That's a Vermont law anyway.
Oh, yeah.
You can't, yeah, you don't,
You
we're
can't
not
discriminate.
messing
And it
with
says right in here, a
breastfeeding.
woman
It's
breastfeeding,
federal.
Yeah, that's federal.
And
You're
it-
right, it's federal.
right under section 2 definitions under nudity, a
Correct.
woman breastfeeding her child irrespective of whether her breast is covered shall not be considered in a state of
Right.
nudity.
No,
Right, yeah, that's,
it's kind of a natural thing.
so no, and then, so I guess, we had, where this is happening is,
Private property?
well, yes and no.
It's
I've heard
within- On the
it's
street.
spilled out into the sidewalk,
Been on the sidewalks, yeah.
so. Yeah, there's nothing we can do if
in
somebody's
your
on
own
their own
backyard,
on
yeah.
their own property, but if they're, now in a town right away where they can be seen, that's a whole nother situation. So, yeah.
So we gotta have what, public hearing on this, right?
We'd have to.
No, you just
no?
have to approve it, and
Approve
then
it, and
it's a 60-day waiting period.
somebody wants to
And
challenge.
somebody
it.
wants to challenge it.
Yeah.
They can. We're about halfway through on the ATV ordinance. I've had people come in and grab copies
Grab it.
of it, but
So we just
Oh,
need to
we
approve
haven't
this
had-
tonight?
yes.
Unless
I'll
we
make
wanted to
motion
wait
we-
for full board to be,
Yeah.
You wanna wait for full board on this one?
I think for an ordinance, that would just
Yeah,
be,
probably.
you know, we'll just
Let's
have to
table
make
this
sure they
one.
know that if we're gonna do it next meeting, so if any, you know,
Yeah.
if they can't make it next
Then
meeting
we'll do
either,
it.
then we'll move forward, but
Table till next meeting.
that'll just give everyone a chance to really read over this thoroughly and, you know. And this, did Gary have a chance to look
Yes.
at it? Okay, good.
He said, he called me, he says, I have absolutely no problem with it. He's like, but I gotta ask where this is.
Oh, that's right, you did.
So,
That's right. All right, so is everybody just, yeah, I think waiting till we have a full board would be a good idea. So we'll make sure this is next week. Okay, all right, and then one of my favorite topics,
Covered Bridge.
Covered Bridge Week, which starts on August 2nd, which is Pittsford Day. So I know we started discussing last meeting about the possible banner purchase, and Ann did look into the
So-
details on that.
I went down to Winning Image, and a 3-foot high by 10-foot long banner would be $240, graphics included. And that would be a QR code of whatever we wanted on it.
What was that size
That's what
again?
we're talking about, putting it in the Village Green? Is that-
Yep, that's the
yeah.
one we're talking about putting in the Village Green, yep. And, you know, we could say, we've got you covered, scan here for maps.
Locations and
Location of our bridges, and then the QR code to the side of it.
I think it's money well spent.
Huh, 240.
And what was the size?
10 foot by 3 foot.
And then how does the QR code work? Do we, like,
So,
They scan
Liz
with the phone, right?
Alvarado's been working with a girl with graphics and stuff, and she has the ability to make those QR codes.
yeah,
So we would take a map of Pittsford, dot out where the maps are, and so when somebody scans the QR code with their phone, it would direct them right to the map online.
okay, cool, yeah, I just didn't know,
So-
like, how the information worked
Yep,
that was put in, yeah.
yep.
so-
And then we can also have maps at Pittsford Day
Yeah,
to hand out.
right,
And the covered bridge people.
yeah,
And have them maybe at the local stores too.
Yep,
I
You
know.
know,
They'd be
Keys,
willing to.
Kamutas,
Website.
on the
Steven, we got
website.
it, I think the Historical Society should get involved in that
Yep.
too, no?
Oh, yeah.
Peter Cosgrove is going to be talking about covered bridges at the annual meeting,
Ooh.
so, yeah, but, oh,
Yeah, I know, I
Sounds
haven't been
like
able
that.
to be in on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
so, I haven't been able to catch up with you guys, but
When's
that
your
would
annual
be,
meeting, Steve?
October something or other, I forget the date.
so that'll be after.
That's
It'll be after the
Pittsford Day,
covered
but-
bridge week, but it'll
But
be
yeah.
still
Still
the
Yeah.
a hot
theme.
topic.
I know, so not only do we have 4 covered bridges, 3.5 if you consider that Proctor owns half of Gorham. Yeah, and then, so Nicholas Powers, who, of the covered bridge builders, who lived in Pittsford? Was it just
He was
Nicholas
from
Powers?
Clarendon. He was from Clarendon, but then he did live in Pittsford.
He did, no, he ended his days in Clarendon, I know
Okay,
that, yeah.
okay. And that marker, by the way, is gonna, they emailed me from Preservation.
Yep,
That should be in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm waiting to hear if they need to utilize our town crew for that. So
yeah,
I let Ian
I
know about it.
followed this.
Mhm.
Okay.
I CC'd, I was just waiting for a final answer.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Chad
big
looks a little
deal.
confused.
We should really have some kind of.
I'll learn when the time comes.
I know.
I was waiting to find out if I needed you
She
or not.
mentioned
wait,
it.
what are you gonna learn, Chad?
Whether he has to
Doing it.
install a sign or not.
I went back on my emails and saw that she had asked about that, if they need some help, but she
Yeah.
didn't mention it in the email she sent to me.
Beth?
No, this was,
No, this is a woman for a historical
Yeah.
marker.
we were dealing with
Oh.
Laura Treichman, and
Okay.
then there's another woman that emailed
Right, right,
me
right,
from-
okay.
They're from Preservation.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So, but there should be some kind of,
Collaboration for sure, and then, so
Yeah.
Beth Brown from the
Yeah.
Covered Bridge Society, and then of course our Historical Society has a lot of information on the bridges, and then, yeah, Peter Cosgrove that lives right here in town has
Yep.
done tremendous photographs of our covered bridges and done, you know, sold these really beautiful collage pieces with them. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff that we can, what was, oh, yeah, right, and one's a jigsaw puzzle. So we have a lot of cool stuff that we could pull together, which in August will happen before we know it, so if anyone has ideas, just throw them out. Well,
I think we have the most covered bridges of any town, don't we?
Third.
no,
No, we're
third,
third
yeah,
now.
third, we're up there, but, Lyndonville,
Lindenville has 5, I think.
and then,
Somebody had more than that.
yeah, but yeah, we're up there. Yep,
We had 5 at one time.
yeah,
And then we also need to decide if we're gonna buy the 4 banners for the 4 bridges from
Yeah,
the
from the
covered
state.
bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought we said we would for each bridge.
We didn't vote on
Vote
it.
on it?
oh, yeah, I
should,
think,
I mean,
yeah, this is gonna be a
Just-
big
yeah.
deal for Pittsford.
Okay, so we want 4 of them?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Do you need a motion for that?
I'll make a motion
Might
by
as well.
the banners
I
for each
second.
bridge.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
There, now it's legal.
Awesome. Yeah,
What
I know,
about
I'm
the-
excited
What
about
about the big
this.
one, the
I was just
240?
gonna say, does that
For the-
include and?
That includes
No,
the,
it doesn't.
it does, yes, it does. I put it in my motion.
Changed your motion?
yeah, and that doesn't change my vote, so does it change yours?
Mine
We're
either.
good?
No, we're good.
Yeah, I know, this is exciting. I'm excited. All right, anything else on covered bridges before we move on? Chad, we'll let you know when we need those banners hung up.
We're gonna have to get a lift truck here pretty soon.
I know,
Well,
put that on your wish list.
it already,
It's been on his wish list,
All
along with
right.
the excavator.
Yeah,
well, that was kind of somebody else's, but actually tonight I should proceed with that because I got the right.
Yeah.
Anyways, but no, actually I would prefer the bucket truck. A lot more done with that.
Yep.
okay. Keep that in mind.
You brought it up.
I did,
Heard about
I
the
did.
bucket truck.
All right, zoning administrator alternate discussion. I thought
Can we hold off on that until next meeting because ZBA meets Monday and I haven't met with them
No.
yet?
yeah, okay, nope, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, we got three things on our agenda for next
Yeah.
next meeting already.
Just cut and paste, it's all good.
That's what I do.
Animal control officer vacancy appointment.
So Chief Warfel came to me and asked if the second animal control officer could be the police department at large, because they've been backing up Rich as it is, if he's working his other full-time job. And he'd rather keep it within the police force because they can easily write the tickets and
Yeah, makes
have it
sense.
enforceable. So
Yeah.
he's asked if they could be the alternate animal control officer.
And we didn't get any other responses anyway, did we, or did we?
We had someone that was interested, and then I think the more they learned about it,
They decided
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
that it wouldn't be suitable.
Do we need a motion to do that? I think we do.
Might as well.
I'll make a motion that we appoint all the police officers on our department as alternate animal control officers.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Has Chief had any more, it's probably new business. Well, it's on the same line. At one point, I looked into, an animal holding pen to put either behind the garage or inside the garage that could be folded up. We had one incident, I think,
Oh.
where
Yeah.
Humane Society couldn't take an animal.
That's not a bad idea.
I haven't heard any more about it, but I think that'd
I
be a
don't
great
think Dave
idea.
ever went any further with it.
I don't think it
Yeah,
went
maybe
any
bring it up
further.
again with them, because, yeah, we did discuss that before, and it seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
They can't be that expensive, a cage
No, I
type
was-
thing.
I can't remember. Christie found it $600 or
Yeah,
something,
so we
but
can't-
it was collapsible,
Yeah,
so.
we can, if you
And
don't need it.
covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would also be a reach out to Gary question to see what our liability would be if we did take an animal into custody and had it on our property.
I will find out and I
I
will
think
get back
this
to
was
you.
a stray dog.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, new business, rec committee.
So Liz was gonna be here tonight, but she's really not feeling well, and I told her to please keep her germs at home.
Yes.
Thank
Um,
you.
That's next meeting.
No, she gave,
Oh,
I
she
have
did?
all the
Oh, okay.
information, so we can
Oh,
move
okay,
forward,
good.
it's
All
not next
right.
meeting.
I was gonna say,
She did meet with the rec committee, and they all agreed that they don't see a purpose for the rec committee anymore. They said that they feel that Liz is doing an amazing job. At the point when the rec committee was started, it was when the rec area was starting up, and a lot of volunteers were needed and a lot of planning and that kind of thing. Now the rec area is the rec area, and it's pretty much sustaining with Liz and Joe's. They did like the suggestion of a volunteer committee instead. So they said maybe instead of a rec committee, Liz should be looking for a volunteer committee to have a pool of people that she could call up if she had a project coming up where she needed volunteers. But they did not feel that a rec committee to guide Liz with her operations was necessary.
There's something I need to discuss in executive session before we
Do
make
anything?
any decisions
All right.
on this, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd also be hesitant to, yeah, we can discuss it, but
Yeah.
I'd be hesitant to like abolish it altogether.
Yeah.
Because then it would be difficult to get it, I think, back.
to get something restarted.
It's one thing if we just leave it unfilled for now, but we can continue that.
They just need some guidance and how to work with Liz.
Yeah,
So is that another tabled?
yeah.
For now,
Boy, it's like the three of us can't get anything done.
I know, what's the matter with this bunch here?
the late group, I get out of here.
All right, so paving bid results for Plains Road. We did have 2 bids,
Yep.
Yep.
the usual. And was there a math discrepancy as far as like these,
Yeah,
this
there's-
wasn't
I had a-
necessarily apples to apples?
No, there isn't, yeah. I had
They're not
questions
apples to apples. So what happened was, and Chad can fill in here if I get something wrong. Wilkes went with Chad and viewed all of the roads and did some measurements. A couple of our road measurements were off, so their tonnage is higher than Pike's.
Okay.
That's why I questioned the tonnage. 'Cause
Yep.
There is a,
So that's
Discrepancy
that's
there.
part of the discrepancy is they actually went and measured the roads with Chad.
Okay.
And also found out exactly what Chad wanted, like start finish spots and everything. Pikes did not do that. Pikes is more per ton than Wilkes. It looks like Wilkes is more, but it's based on, was it Brookside Drive?
Yeah.
Brookside Drive, we had put on the bid that it was 0.11 miles. It was actually further 300 more feet.
300 more feet and
So that's why the tonnage is much higher for Wilkes, because they included that 300 more feet, whereas Pikes went by what the bid was for 0.11 miles.
I believe when we made that adjustment, adding Pike to equal that amount, the totals were much closer.
Okay.
Total dollar amount
Further.
was.
Yeah. And Furnace Road was the same thing. Furnace Road, they rode with Chad. And Pikes did not. 'Cause that's the other one that has
100 tons
almost
difference.
101 ton difference.
so their tonnage is actually the cheaper one.
Yes,
Wilkes is, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Wilkes is 83,
Yep. And they
Pikes
are
is 84, 84.
so I'd say we take the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Lowest bid per ton.
per ton, yes.
And Wilkes did email today that they did recheck their measurements on Brookside Drive and Furnace. And, you know, this is based on the actual driving of it.
Okay. Is that a motion?
So Wilkes is less per ton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're 83.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said that,
No, we give them the bid, they're the lowest per ton. That's my motion, we award the bid to them.
All right, I'll second that. Was there any
Nope.
further discussion?
I just thought that Tommy had said that Pike was the lower per ton. I
No.
misunderstood.
No, yeah,
No,
okay,
no.
no, so Wilkes.
That's the Wilt.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. Transfer station compactor, potential sale.
So Chad brought to my attention that we have a trash compactor. That looks like, well, it looked like this when we bought it.
What does it look like now?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's all rusted up and busted up, or no?
It's actually,
It's still in good.
it's in good condition. We don't see the need for the town to hold on to it. We're not in charge of the transfer station for at least 5 years.
Yeah,
but what if something happened and we needed it, how much does that thing cost? I mean, right now it's not costing us a dime to sit there.
When was it purchased?
2004, according to the back of the pictures.
Yeah.
2004. Do we know how much we paid for it then? Though I guess it's almost irrelevant if it's a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Depreciation's done.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Things better.
I don't
It wouldn't be
know.
to replace it.
Well, that's, I
If you
know.
needed it, it's like,
Well,
whoa.
that is, yeah, that's worth considering. We
It was
might,
still working, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Would they,
I'm surprised they don't wanna use it.
They don't have big containers to hook onto
Do they,
it.
Is
they
that what
truck
it
their
is?
own?
So we would have to have a truck like Casella's
Like
and those kind of
Casella's
boxes.
to do it. I don't know, you can put it out there and see what you got for bids, or you don't have to accept them, right?
We can put,
You could see what it's worth, and at
yeah.
that point, we decide whether we wanna sell it or keep it, I guess.
yeah, that works for me.
who'd we buy it from?
I don't know because this envelope
the
says
older
it's
I
from the
knew.
Rutland Daily Herald.
Jesus, that envelope's looking a little,
In New Hampshire.
Tech Systems Transfer Atlantic Leasing Company, Dover, New Hampshire is the sticker on the top, on the front of the catalog.
Let's give them a call.
Yeah, see,
they're still in business. That looks pretty old.
Maybe they could,
This number is no longer in
yeah,
service.
probably.
Well, I just didn't want to sell something without.
Might tell you, if anything, it might tell you what it's worth.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
You know,
Give me
you
an
know?
idea what
Yeah,
it's worth.
an idea.
yeah, let's look into
They
that.
might consign, sale it
Yep.
for us too.
All right, well, I don't think we need a vote on that.
No, just, she can go ahead and check
Yeah.
it out.
All right, no camping and no overnight parking sign locations.
So, I received the letter about General Assistance Emergency Housing Program informational notice, and I shared it with Chief, letting him know that we had potentially a large number of homeless people that may be evicted from the hotels. Some of them now will be staying there. However, in the Rutland District Office, there are 95 households, 133 adults, and 62 children, according to this press release, informational notice. So we said, some people are gonna try to camp in their cars. And we would like to have no camping, no overnight signage. The potential locations would be the Gorham Bridge fishing access, the ice caves or the ice caves parking area, if there was one, the rec area, the pull-off across from Smith Pond, Kendrick Dam, and potentially the rec trail heads. Just so that people are not trying to park overnight and camp in their vehicles in these locations. Those were the locations that Chief came up with
For signs?
for signs that would say no camping, no overnight parking.
What if we should add the no camping on any town-owned property? We've had a couple instances out here at the haunted house where people during the summer
Oh,
set
yeah?
up camp. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. That was quite a sight, so
Huh,
that definitely should be addressed.
okay.
Because that could happen again with what's going on.
Also by near your road too.
Yeah.
That
And that
Oh,
whole
that's
pull-off,
that's
yeah,
the
where's
Kendrick Dam. That's on that
That's
list,
on
yeah.
that, Yeah.
So the Rutland district is the highest.
We've
Yes.
Oh,
been
yeah.
consistently for the last 5 years.
I went by that motel on Woodstock Avenue the other day and there wasn't a car parked there. And usually it's full of cars. So they must all been kicked out.
what about people that are living in campers on private property, like during the winter?
I mean, we've kind of had some
It-
situations come up like that, but it's
It all
like a whole
depends on the
different
property, yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
If it, by my understanding from the health officer point of view, if there's running water, something is happening with the sewer other than dumping it
Right.
on public land, and there's heat source, you can't really
But they
kick
do
them
have
off.
purposes, they take it to and dump them.
Okay, but if they're not connected to the sewer,
Is it?
About that, because.
It becomes a
the
sticky
police
situation.
had the,
We can't tell, if it's a homeowner property, you can't tell a homeowner how to live on their property.
it's a health concern though, if the sewage is going.
But some of those
Well,
campers, they
that's-
have things that they put under the camper and they dump the sewage in there and they take it to the,
Right, but in the winter,
Trip
all
pipe.
that's gonna freeze up, all the pipes, or, it's just.
Well, a lot of the
No,
campers now
they
have
have
a
heated-
Alaska package in
Yeah.
it where
Oh,
the tanks
okay.
are
the tanks are
insulated,
insulated.
but still, it's not.
It's not a best
It's not
situation.
ideal, but you
No.
can't tell somebody how to live.
Well, when John and
Well-
I were listers, what we ended up doing is we started putting them on the books. If you're gonna do that, then you're gonna pay for it, because it's an extra unit, especially if you had water and sewer.
No, that
So-
is a good way to actually address maybe some of the, we haven't had a lot of concerns, thank
I know
goodness, but there's,
Some of the other towns aren't, what you say is right, but they're not pushing regulations on them because apartments and houses are so hard to find
They're
to
not
rent.
available, yeah.
And there's some new law now with ancillary apartments in houses where the towns can't deny it for, I think it's up to 25 or 30% of the size of the building.
Yeah, if there's sewer and water.
Well, septic or,
Yeah.
well, and septic too, but I think if you're adding bedrooms, it changes your septic permit. But, you know, it's tough.
you know,
So, I've seen a few situations where I can't believe people are living in these campers. They've got them
Especially when
hay
they have
bales
kids.
stacked up to the windows.
Yeah, there was one on Route 7 yesterday, right there at the pull-off, just beyond the town line.
Yeah.
On that corner by Mark's
Yeah.
place. There
Yeah.
was there again, was
Been a
there again
few there.
yesterday.
that's been there on, yeah, on and off for
Off
quite
and
a
on
while.
for a couple of years now,
Yeah.
off and on. They're still living in it. But what do people do if that's the only place they got to live? It's pretty tough.
I know there was an incident off Elm Street beside my property where they were living in a camper. And
On Elm
I had a few
Street?
questions about it.
Huh.
And they were running their sewer right out into the swamp,
Oh, boy, yeah,
or septic rather,
That's
not
what they were
sewer.
doing on Salisbury Flats.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were. Yep.
Gross,
It's gone now, but
yeah.
I don't know what we can do about it at this level.
Well, all we can do is, I guess, put up the
Put up the
signs
signs
and,
and-
yeah.
See if it works.
Can anybody think of anything to add to that list?
Anywhere they hang out.
I'd hate to see anybody at the wreck, but
Yeah.
Was Cooley.
Cooley Bridge
Yeah.
pull-off was, well,
Yeah.
that's a trailhead.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
That's
Yeah,
a,
that
that's
does-
considered a
right.
trailhead, I believe
The
so.
other
Yeah.
pull-offs on Elm,
you got Gorham Bridge, Cooley.
farther down. There's those two.
Right by the bridge. Those are technically both.
No,
Oh.
the other, farther down, where it floods,
There's
right in the
also part
flood.
of the.
oh,
Yeah,
right
down
across
there.
from your
This is Elm
property, I think he's
Street.
talking
Yeah.
about.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those pull-offs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a pull-off there, yeah.
Eastern dry season.
I know the state's put a lot on their no overnight camping. You know,
Yep.
the state does it all over
Right.
the place.
Yeah.
Any rest area, you can't stay all night.
So legally to enforce it, do we have to have a physical sign at each of those locations?
Yes.
It's unfortunate. That's gonna litter
Yep.
up the place.
Oh, yeah.
And cost the town.
I know.
I don't know, what do we do? Do
I don't
we
know.
Wait until we start having a problem and then do it, or I think
don't know. I mean,
probably
we
should
can't-
do
Part
the
of
important ones.
part of it, I feel like we need to be proactive now
think
so
so.
that we're ahead of it because
If you, yeah, if you
once
don't,
the snowball starts rolling down the hill, it's gonna be really hard to stop it.
Yep.
So we had this discussion once before, I think right after COVID stopped and a bunch of people came out of the hotels, but we didn't put up signs. We
No, we,
just,
Is there a town ordinance against it?
We don't have any camping ordinance, and many towns around us do not either. I found one in Middlebury. Their camping situation is a little unique up there, and the ordinance was just passed not that long ago. They actually have a partnership with a nonprofit to help the homeless, so that's encapsulated in their ordinance, so it's not one that we could really adopt here. But I did look around at surrounding towns to see who had what. If you want to go as far as Brattleboro had one and then they repealed it. I'm not sure why they repealed it. Yeah, I know. That could definitely be it. But I can continue looking. I've looked at some of the major towns and cities trying to find.
Do we need
a
an
handle.
ordinance in order to place the signs?
We may need to have a.
I don't know what the legal, I don't.
You can place a sign without an ordinance, I believe, but the problem is enforcing it in
Enforcing
court
would be the problem.
is when we're going to need. So we could do a signs ordinance. We had one before that listed like where every stop, yield, and whatever sign, no parking signs, and they were all listed out to help if it went to court.
Goes to
They
court,
have it. So I could look at that one, update it, and we could add in the no camping, no overnight parking signage to that ordinance and update that ordinance. It's one of the very few that has not been updated since I started here.
Yeah, let's do
Look at
that.
we should,
Before
yeah.
we start throwing up a bunch of signs,
Yeah.
let's do that. I know, I would like to be proactive in the situation, but that's a lot of signs to throw up, and, I mean, we've discussed before,
Well,
we
if
think
we
we have too
have
much
an
signs
ordinance,
already in
I know,
town.
geez.
If we have an ordinance without signs, at least the police
At least you
can-
got some teeth, yeah.
Sure,
You
right.
got teeth in it.
And I'll keep looking for a camping
Okay,
policy or ordinance for other towns.
all right, thank you. Okay, all right, Otter Creek Watershed Insect Control District Potential Amendment to Agreement. Are you here to discuss that with us, Stephen?
Well, in theory, Ann has shared the documents with you.
Yep, we have seen them.
This is again part of the fallout of the Salisbury seesaw. And so, what, at our last meeting, Doug Perkins had written out, and, there were some procedural issues because of when the language was warned. But we had eventually ended up adopting a somewhat longer paragraph for the Article 5 finances, just to replace the whole thing. And it lays out a bit more specifically when and how towns should be paying. It also makes a provision for if towns vote at the town meeting, which comes after, later on, then our budget gets amended
Do
to
that.
reflect the will of the townspeople, which seems,
Logical.
by and large, that's a fairly harmless, well, or useful kind of thing. So the question is, can you live with this? And if so, could you vote yes, please?
I mean, mean, I'm okay with it. Did
I'm
everyone
fine
have any
with it, no.
questions
This is
about
something
it?
we've gotta adopt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The board has adopted it, and then it
Yeah.
goes back to the select boards,
Yeah.
because the agreement is actually between all the select boards.
Right.
And so we need a 2/3 majority of the select boards to approve it as well.
We're approving Article 5, is that what we're doing?
I think it's the
Approving
whole
amended
thing.
The whole
version of
thing?
Article
Okay.
5, yeah.
I'll
The
make a motion to
amended
approve
Article
it.
5.
I'll second that.
All right, any further questions, discussions? All right,
Aye.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very
Okay,
much.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll report this at our next meeting, and I'll
Yeah.
get back to Ann with, basically, as soon as 2/3 of the towns vote yes, then, Salisbury voted yes even before the meeting.
Did they?
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, because Jonathan Blake had gotten hold of the text and shared it with their select board. So-
Okay,
So we're
God, it was so on the
sort of moving it ahead of the game.
yeah. Well, and I just want to say thank you too,
Yes,
because you've
thank you.
been a
You've
great
done a-
rep
yes.
for the mosquito board for us, and
Yep.
it's been a tumultuous board, to say the least, at times, so
It's
we
been-
really
it's-
appreciate
it's-
your work.
But thank you very much.
Probably
But
time-
this is,
Times you're pulling your
it's an
hair out,
honor
right?
to be representing Pittsford as well, I would say,
Yeah.
so thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna head home and get dinner if you
Okay,
need
yeah,
to.
no, thank
Thank
you.
you very
Have a good
much.
night.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, planning commission schedule, enhanced energy plan, public hearing dates. So, the enhanced energy plan is coming to us late, significantly late, so now it's basically coming up at the same time that the whole town plan is due.
Right, so I talked to Jeremy and Logan at Rutland Regional Planning Commission today because I had asked Logan to help me with the hearing paperwork that has to be done because we have to send it to 9 towns because we have 9 adjoining towns. And then we have to notify certain entities about it and everything. And I asked him, can you please check over what I did to make sure it was right? He sent me templates. I changed them to Pittsford, sent them back to him. And then he had a conversation with Jeremy today, and I had told the planning commission the next meeting, or, the meeting that they had last week, that, we're under some tight deadlines because we need to do zoning, subdivision, and then town plan, and hopefully all of them by the end of the year, so that we can get full grant money. Otherwise, we're gonna have to pay back some of a grant. And Jeremy and Logan both agreed that if we're already going to be adopting a new town plan in the next 8 months, it doesn't make sense to do an amendment on the town plan, because that's what an enhanced energy plan is an amendment to the town plan. They said just wait and do the hearings all at once and put the enhanced energy plan into the new town plan, and then that way it's one hearing but covers
Everything.
the enhanced energy as part of the new town plan. It would save us time, energy, resources
All
to do
right,
it that way.
I'm not happy about it, but if that's the way it has to be, that's the way it has to be.
It's gonna be overall,
Makes sense.
it's gonna,
I
it's
know,
gonna
I just,
save
it's
us.
really, we should have had that
It's been
enhanced energy plan a
dragging
year and a half
dragging.
ago.
Yep,
Dragon.
yep. Should've been done. a
But
long
we're
time ago.
here now. We will work
Get
with
it
what we
done.
have.
And the planning commission, like I said in my, town manager's report, is definitely looking for public input, especially since they're gonna be doing zoning, bylaw updates. And then they're looking at adding subdivision bylaws. So,
Okay.
Are they coordinating with regional?
yes.
Yes.
Yes, they're working with Logan.
But even remember Logan said that he did some last year, and the legislature changed the rules.
Changed the
So
rules.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Why do it?
start again,
Yeah.
so it's, it's been frustrating, to say the least.
Well, this is important too with the new provisions under Act 250 in towns with zoning and subdivision as far as high-density residential. So it's something we shouldn't drag too long on, because I
No,
think
he-
there's a sunset on that Act 250 provision of 2026.
I'm not sure. I know our town plan is up for renewal and has to be renewed and approved by the select board, and by someone else by February 6th, 2026. So if we can bump
That's when our
it,
town plan,
our town
Yeah,
plan is approved.
February
Well,
26th.
It's February 2026. I think it's February 6th, 2026.
Very
So
specifically.
I don't
So
think
June-
there's anything that
Yeah.
prevents us from renewing the bylaws ahead of schedule, am I right?
No, there's nothing prohibiting. That's what we're pushing to do
Yeah.
so that we
Would
can.
that be ahead of schedule?
It would be. If we can get it done by December 31st, we'll be ahead of schedule.
Okay.
And we'll have met our obligations for the grant we have
That's the
Okay.
point. to
without
get it.
having to pay anything back.
That's
Okay.
what we need
So
to
that's
do.
what we're trying to do, is to have everything done by December 31st so that we don't have to pay part of a grant back.
Right. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and Logan already went through all our bylaws and took a look at it to keep it updated for the new laws, and then switched some of that language. So we already have that. That
Okay.
was really helpful.
Yeah, he brought that the
Yeah,
last meeting. I've printed the
yeah.
2019 approved zoning bylaws. They're on my desk. I've emailed the planning commission to let them know that they're there to pick up. And like I said, I put the enhanced energy plan on our town website so people can read through it and look at it. And then the planning commission's welcoming comments and suggestions from
Okay.
the public, even though we haven't had a hearing yet on them.
Right.
If somebody from the public wants to comment.
So the proposed revisions are up?
The enhanced energy plan revisions are up. The zoning
Not
bylaw,
the bylaws?
No.
Okay.
they just started them last week. So they meet again April 24th. They're starting at 6:30 instead of 7 to have an extra half hour to try to get through a good chunk of zoning.
Okay.
Haven't heard any discussion in Montpelier about changing the rules again, have you?
I don't know. I heard there's. You never know.
Yeah, wait 10 minutes.
I know. I heard discussions about some things that would require every town to have zoning, and just I don't know. I'm not in any of the committees that discuss that stuff, so I hear things, in the hallway, in the cafeteria.
You're lucky.
I'll look into it though and see if I can find out
Because they
any
usually
details.
manage to pass some kind of change.
I
but-
know. I know. I'll look into it. All right, so I guess we're just, for now, just gonna,
That's a good schedule.
It is a quick schedule.
okay. Donna's done this before. You've been
Yeah.
through the whole process before, right?
No.
Oh, you
No.
haven't?
No, I
No.
haven't.
Oh, I thought you were with the last town plan.
No.
Oh, okay,
I was a lister then.
okay.
Lister,
All
yeah,
right.
back then.
Okay, all right, Rutland County Solid Waste District appointment form,
Well, we have a resignation before that.
resignation, I saw that. Oh, that's right, I skipped right over that unintentionally. So Bill Drummond has resigned as,
The alternate.
our alternate, so I guess we just need to advertise for
We're going to have to
said
advertise
alternate?
for an alternate.
Okay. So so if anybody's interested in being on the Rutland County Solid Waste District, what does that entail, so people know? Like, how often do they meet? And I don't think often at all, right?
It's either monthly or quarterly.
Yeah, I
can't
thought it was even
remember.
I was
quarterly.
thinking it was
Um,
quarterly, but I might be wrong.
Nancy, who's our first person.
Yeah, rep.
She attends regularly.
Okay.
and, so the alternate would just be to fill in if
Fill in.
she's not there,
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I did finally meet Nancy.
Yeah,
The other
she's really
day.
nice.
Nancy
Yeah.
Goodrow?
Yeah.
You know her?
I didn't know her.
You didn't know
I had to call her, and I didn't have her phone number, so I emailed her because I did have her email, and I was like, "We have a packet that was dropped off to you. Can you please come pick it up or tell me where to drop it off to?" She was very nice. She came right in.
Yeah, she's great.
Nice lady.
Yep.
Do the alternates attend the meetings or only when they do?
should.
They should or they can.
They should, yeah.
I mean, I'm alternate for TAC, but I plan on going just so I know what's going on.
Good, because
Right.
I missed this one. I am the rep for TAC, but I didn't make this one. So thanks.
Not a problem.
I think we were on the floor when that meeting happened, otherwise I would have zoomed in. All right, any questions on the orders?
I don't think
I had none.
I had none.
No.
All right, you can send those around. We'll start signing those.
So, this first one, I think just Alicia has to sign it. It's the authorization form for Rutland County Solid Waste for Nancy.
Listen, it's driving me nuts. You said that we had, what, I gotta sign this?
You gotta sign that one.
We have 9 adjoining towns. I only know of, all right, so we got Chittenden, West Rutland, Rutland Town, Mendon, Hubbardton, Brandon, Proctor. Who am I what are the other 2 I'm forgetting?
Castleton
Castleton.
and Sudbury.
We touched
Sudbury.
Just
Castleton.
that one
Out
corner
on
of
Old
West
Watershed
Rutland,
Road.
Yeah, one
Where?
tiny corner.
Do you
over in
wanna
Hubbard.
on the forest
No way.
property.
Yeah.
All right, so then what's the 9th?
Signature.
Yeah. I'll reprint this one and just.
What's the 9th, Ann?
Sudbury.
Sudbury. We touched Sudbury too?
Yeah,
Out off of Old Hubbardton.
Sheesh.
yep.
Believe me, we had maps out
I know, I'm
the
just,
other night.
I know, when I first got on, I
heard
don't
you
know if
say-
it was when I first got on the board, but it's so, Chad took me around, we like drove the perimeter of Pittsford and it's huge. But I didn't remember Castleton and Sudbury. Now I know.
Never would have thought, I mean,
Are the crime statistics just FYI? if you
Yes.
don't-
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
those
Oh.
monthly, I guess.
No,
That's,
All right, now which,
that's nice.
okay, I was absent, so I'll just pile.
okay. I don't know where I'm supposed to,
Where it says select board. Bottom, center. Yeah.
oh, there's no line, it was throwing me off.
I can fill in the rest of it.
Okay, good, because look at, I'm holding up the line here.
I had it all nicely filled out, and then we got the resignation letter, and I was
Oh.
like, okay, start over.
And I didn't save any papers this week.
Oh, did you find that? I realized I never
No.
responded to your email.
No, on one of those it said only these 3 people can sign this one. No, I don't know what happened to that.
Got up marked away somewhere.
It's like a certain someone's keys in the office that keep walking away.
Oh,
Hey, I found mine.
Good.
They actually fit the front door. First time I've ever tried them.
You know your door code?
all right,
I
you
think it was
don't-
on the
You don't
tag.
need to sign that.
Okay.
I think that must be what it is the number on there, so I assume that's it. I don't know. We'll find out. If I try it someday and the alarms all go off, I'll know it's not the code.
All right, if there's nothing else, I will take a motion, please, to go into executive session in accordance with 1 VSA 313A, where premature general public knowledge would clearly place the municipality or person involved at a substantial disadvantage to discuss pending or probable civil litigation or prosecution to which the public body is or may be a party. 1 VSA 313A1E to include the interim town manager.
I so moved.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Yeah.
Okay, we're done with the open part of our meeting. Thank you.